My name is Lee Symonds. I graduated from the University of Oregon as a lit major, and then many years later decided to go back to school and get a degree in library service at Rutgers University. Our three children were old enough that they were out of the nest, and I could go off to school every day and read I think it was 68 books that I read that first year, and then was fortunate enough to obtain employment as the director of Metuchen Public Library in Metuchen, New Jersey. It considers itself a college important town, and is proud of being known as the brainy borough. So to become the director of the library there was a real challenge. Many of us in the community were invited to a special luncheon meeting to tell us about a new program that the college was considering getting involved in sponsoring. So members of the community who were active in other ways giving service attended this luncheon, and before lunch we had the program explained to us how people could learn after they'd retired from their active professional lives, business lives. We then adjourned for lunch and discussed the feasibility of such a program. We were in groups of about 8 or 10 at each table. We came back to the main group and explained our points of view. The consensus was that it was a great idea, but many said, I'm way too over-involved now, I can't take this on. However, there were about 6 of us who decided that we would like to go further with this idea, and so we then met and began to make plans. I think it was my experience at the library that prepared me for starting new programs. We had a book discussion group at my library. I was involved in forming a Friends of the Library and forming a historical society in the community. So I think it was my background in doing that kind of thing. We had to decide how long the courses should be, what the courses would be, who would teach them, all the details, where we would get the money, what the dues might be, all kinds of details like that. The whole idea of being able to learn more things, to be involved in learning things that homemakers who planned meals didn't have the fun of learning how to continue to use our minds and explore ideas with other people and see what their thoughts were. One that comes to mind was called Hot Topics, a discussion of public events and the significance of them. I, of course, did a book discussion class. I loved doing that one, and the participants were so ready to give their opinions about books. Maybe they hadn't even thought of reading them before, but now they were excited about it. People were so enthusiastic about classes that they wanted to go to all the classes. And of course, there wasn't room, and some of the teachers were very uncomfortable having a class larger than the number that they stipulated. So it was difficult if people would come to class and weren't invited or given permission to come. We had 2 classrooms because that's what it was, 2 apartments the building was made of, and each of them had its own bathroom with a bathtub, so we had any kind of accommodation people might want if they didn't need privacy. You'd come in the office part and then go from there to the big, long classroom with the bathroom with the bathtub down at the other end. And then the other classroom would be just the mirror image of that one. One of our biggest expenditures in the beginning was a big TV. We were thrilled with our television. We had saved our money and we could afford it. Another thing. In the beginning, we had all these folding chairs or plastic chairs, but the college did give us some big overstuffed furniture from the lounges that they were going to discard them. They were pretty beat up from college students having put their feet on them and all, but we had several big old ugly chairs, and people would get to class early because they were so comfortable, and they'd come and sit in those chairs. With great enthusiasm, I would tell them that we would come together and be stimulated by discussing ideas that we hadn't thought of before, and often with instructors who were very enthusiastic and willing to share their knowledge with interested people. I think it's a wonderful organization. I'm so glad that I got to be a part of it. I think that any way that we can use our minds and help other people use theirs is all to the good.